is Will Byers, the Gen Z Harry Potter. I'm going to do my part here as a fellow Stranger Things enthusiast and warn you that this isn't spoiler-free. So yeah, get that binge on and catch up. But for those of you who are caught up to the show, hey Will Byers, notice any similarities to another beloved sorcerer, Harry Potter? Go on, think about it. And no, I don't just mean putting specs on Will Byers and saying they kinda look alike. Really just think about it. If you don't have an answer, fret not my friend, for I am here to tickle your mind a little and tell you how Will Byers is the new, or should I say, the Gen Z Harry Potter.
I know it's hard to talk about, but these visions.
Sorcerer from another mother, the boy who lived, or in this case, the boys who lived because they do share some similarities the more I think of it, especially because both of them lived in a closet. If you didn't get it, I'll give you 5 seconds to understand that one. Okay, but let's go back all the way to the beginning when Will Byers vanished and Harry Potter was a wee lad. Granted, Harry didn't go poof all of a sudden, but he was kind of stalked by the Big V. I see more similarities. They are both V, villains, Vecna and Voldemort. Some say my genius attracts gravity, but yeah, they were both branded in a way with a piece of the villain attached to them. Harry as a Horcrux, and connected through his forehead scar, and Will connected through Vecna juice. You know, like the liquid substance thing being fed to him through one of his fleshy tubes. Okay, whatever that thing was, it gave Will a psychic connection to Vecna, and we see him tapping into the hive through his visions during the first 4 episodes of Season 5. But movies and shows don't just focus on a random nobody, geeky looking kid and have them become special, because with the case of Harry, this dude survived Voldemort's killing spell when he was just an infant. And Will Byers? Zombie Boy didn't simply get that name because Bro survived in a completely different dimension. Sort of, because Vecna did give him a little piece of him or whatever that was. But Will did technically embrace it, and just like Harry, he now owns it now. But why? The powers and abilities aren't for live action D&D, are they? Right, because both of them had a sort of heroic role to play. Harry had his ultimate destiny, main quest and boss fight laid out quite early on. He was tied to defeating the one who shall not be named, and they had their mega duel. But is it just me, or do both Vecna and Voldemort have no nose? Guess that's why they are so pissed off. Imagine not being able to take a deep breath whenever you try to meditate. Too bad no calm for these two. Okay, back to the topic. Now it turns out, Will's story wasn't super obvious, was it? Who would ever think a kid like Will, who simply was assumed to have vanished, actually held a significance to defeating Vecna, because it always seemed Will was the victim, the weakest link. And even up until the end of episode 4 of the new season, if it was not for Robin's speech that made him feel a little something, I guess we would actually have a Stranger Things style Red Wedding, if you know what I mean. I always felt Elle cannot take the credit every time, and now she found her long lost friend and Will can bend the Demogorgons like they were spineless contortionists. Good for you, Will. Good for you. Just sort that haircut out, will you? Is a hero who is destined for greatness. Anything without their friends? Of course not. Who wants to fight stuff alone? Look at Harry, who had Ron and Hermione and a few others by his side, risking their lives, staying loyal, and doing cool wizardy things together. Will too had his mum and friends who never gave up looking for him and still defend and protect each other, no matter the size of the ugly monster that wants to grab them with its slimy hands. Loyalty goes a long way in friendship, but there's a little difference here because Harry carried that main character energy and was known to be the hero of the group. But Will, see, no one knew he could do what he did, neither did he. So how would they even think of him as a badass? But we have the last upcoming episodes to know if Will also oozes with hero aura towards the end, because God knows that boy was aura farming while snapping Demogorgon bones up in the air, that too at 3 different locations. Harry and Will are the same but different, but still the very same in this case too. But let's shift our eyes to the villains, the big V's, Vecna and Voldemort, because Harry and Will wouldn't be similar if their angry noseless enemy didn't influence them. Neither of them look human. Maybe Voldemort with a fake nose does, but Vecna, maybe yes, if he would only choose to stay in Henry form. Anyways, both of them aim to reshape the world in their vision, love power, thirst for it, and believe they are the very best, like no one ever was. They underestimate the power of love and friendship, and in the case of Stranger Things, D&D related tactical knowledge to ultimately fall at the hands of the heroes. I know, Stranger Things hasn't concluded yet, but aren't you also wondering how Will messes Vecna up? Both the V's, however, had a human past, a past that gave clues to their identity and how to defeat them. Think about all that I said and tell me you didn't just gasp at the similarities. It just seemed to click, knowing Will Byers somehow has drawn similarities to Harry Potter. And for that sake, yeah, let's just call him the Gen Z Harry Potter. Also, we won't see another Harry Potter on screen for a while, so yeah, this is damn close. Plus, why should millennials have all the fun? You see it too now that I mentioned these points, right? Not just Will and Harry, but even the villains share some similarities. Not to say Stranger Things simply stole the idea, but it's the premise that pushes a similar narrative that made it such an interesting comparison. Does that mean villains need to influence the hero at a young age and clash in an epic fight? Do it slightly differently, and it may just work? Okay, maybe for the sake of originality, it better be left to just these two. I can't imagine another show with another kid being branded and connected to a noseless villain. With that, this is me signing off. Don't forget to let me know your 2 cents in the comment box below.